TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Thursday, I believe. Yeah. January the 22nd, 2:35 a.m. PM. Back with another portfolio recap. This is very straightforward. This is where I go through the moves that I made for the day and why I made them. Typically, I'm going to be doing these between 3 and 4 p.m. Unless I don't have FaceTime between 2:30 and 3:15. I'll try to knock it out then. That way I still have that hour of chill time. I'm older now, man. I require an hour to nap. I require an hour to sit on my massage table, to meditate, to pray, to contemplate this beautiful thing called life. I mean, I just need an hour of me time. It's very healthy for me, for my mental health, for my spiritual health, my emotional health, my psychological health, my physical well-being. I recommend it to all of you guys. Anyway, let's get into it. Because we don't have a lot of time. So let's get into what plays I made and why I made them. What plays did I make and why did I make them? First one that comes to mind is on BMU. On this particular account, I didn't do anything. On this account here, I think I put some calls on. Yeah. So I was like, hey, it's not going to do us any good to own shares at 572 when they're trading on the open market for 507. So I put the shares up for sale. And that's what I did. I got to go put the TV on YouTube because I like to see myself while we're on TV. Just to make sure I'm sharing the right stuff. So give me a couple of seconds while I get my shit together over here. And see if I can find us on TV. There we go. On YouTube anyway. Perfect. I see the screen up there. We are good. So what else did we do? On account ending in 19, it might have been a lot of the same thing. No, didn't do anything on this particular account today. I feel like there's just nothing to do. We're just waiting on SoFi. Love that positioning, 43% up to the good. One thing I have considered doing here is it just doesn't make any sense to keep this covered call on. I know $160 is $160, but I sure would hate for BM&R to catch a bid and we're still in this trade when we didn't have to be. And then we could just let the shares go. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in a little win there and take those cover calls off the table. PayPal is looking a lot better today. We got the puts at 55 and we got the calls at 65. CleanSpark didn't do anything. Palantir, we're just babysitting. MSTR. This is the only spot in the portfolio that's really questionable, if you will. It's MSTR needs to bounce. Same thing with BM&R. Need these to bounce. On account ending in 90, I think I sold some calls on BMNU today. Yeah, 0 days, 29 days out, brought in $4,200. It's not what we wanted, but that's what we got. And and it's not. I wanted 10,000. Wasn't there right now, but 4,200 is a lot more than zero, and that's just kind of how I look at it. I'm not that Sunny and 75 trader where I have to wait for all the conditions to be perfect. It's like riding my motorcycle, man. Sometimes it's sunny and 75 and it's perfect day to be out throwing your motorcycle. Sometimes it might be misty. Sometimes it's raining. Sometimes it's cold. Sometimes it's hot. I like to ride my bike. Sometimes you get better conditions than others, but at the end of the day, I like to ride my bike. And that's the way I treat my hamburger stand. Count ending in 01. I think I sold some calls here as well. I did. Brought in $4,200, $4,300 twice over, $4,200 twice over, and feel good about it. Bringing in $8,400 in premiums is not bad. We're down 42 cents on the shares, so that kind of offsets what we're down on the shares. So I like it all the way around. We do have an agreement to buy 10,000 more shares at $8. So that's really all that I did with this particular portfolio. Account ending in 33, sold the calls. So bought the shares at 588, agreed to sell them at 7, brought in 42 cents, $4,200. And now we just wait. Now we just wait. Clean Spark's looking good. MSTR is looking fantastic. The Palantir traders is looking great. Account ending in 20. I'm skipping over 60 because we'll end with that one. Looks like I sold some calls again. Y'all see a theme there, right? So I sold some calls again. I gave it time. We haven't gotten a bounce. I hope it bounces. We have a little bit of room, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Account ending in 47. I still haven't sold the rest of the calls. I'm going to go ahead and sell them now. So it's going to be, I sold 50, so I could do 35 more. I got to ring the cash register, guys. Got to ring the cash register. Is what it is. So I'm going to ring the cash register. And we're going to try to get at least 42 cents. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But we do have a little bit of cash there. We have a little bit of cash there now. So whenever this rings, provided that it does ring, provided that they do sell, this is going to put us close to $4,000 in cash. Now we could potentially buy 600, 700, 800 more shares. So to me, that's the way that you can create Sunny in 75 if you're still in share accumulation phase, as you sell the covered calls, even though it's not ideal, but then you take those premiums and then you buy more shares, and then you can sell more covered calls on those shares, and you can create your Sunny in 75 scenario. Because I'm trying to get this account to $100,000. That's the game. I'm trying to get it $100,000. So it's a lot faster to do it if I can get closer to 10,000 shares versus 8,500. And then I ride these up, $3 or $4, and boom, we're there. Because this is about a $45,000 account the way the crow flies right now. Account ending in 60. We already went over this earlier. I'm only going to focus on one trade today, and that's Enphase. So what's going on with Enphase today? There was some news, right? There was some news with Enphase that Saudi Arabia is going to take solar seriously, essentially. And I had covered calls for next Friday at 50 at $40. At $40. So I took a bath on those calls. I said, hey, we're going to move it out to the 45-day cycle. I was able to get a nice credit for that. Excuse me. Hey, Uncle Denny. I'm well. I'm on a webinar right now. Everything okay? Okay. I'm good. I'm good. Your portfolio is looking good. I'll get with you tomorrow to make those trades. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. That's my Uncle Danny. I told him to take a look at his portfolio, and he called me right away. We have 10,000 shares of Enphase that is on his account. Bought him at $30. Had covered calls on him at 35. They expired Watchlist, and now wanted to go put them on again at 45. So I got to get with him to place that trade tomorrow because he doesn't know how to do it. He relies on me to do it all, but he's obviously excited because he's up $100,000 on the shares alone. So pretty awesome, guys. Selling puts and calls is great, but at the end of the day, those are the breadcrumbs. You want to go get the loaf, write some shares up 10, 20, 30, $40, a couple, 200 or 300%. That's a lot of premium before you get that kind of return. Keep that in mind. So what did I do? I didn't want to fight the trend. I'm like, I feel like the writing's on the walls. This thing's been bottoming out for like a year. It's been bottoming out for like a year. So I was like, let me just take ownership of the shares. So I took ownership of half. And it didn't really affect the buying power that much because the algorithm sees, I call it the safety monitor. They see what I'm trying to do. So I eliminate the risk to the upside. Granted, I get very directional with this thing because now I'm extremely bullish on Enphase. I got short puts over here. I rolled those from 25 to 30. So I brought in quite a bit of money. We can look here at the activity. We'll look at the activity here. This is all the activity going on for today. So if I go over here and I go transactions and I just type in Enphase, this thing will kind of square it up for us. So this is everything that went today, that happened today. Is I bought 25,000 shares of Enphase, and then I rolled the 40s to the 45, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just do some math. Let's just do some basic math. I'm like, if I write up 25,000 shares, $5, because I bought the shares at 40 average, right? $40.21. It's 125 grand that I make on the shares alone. That'll offset money's pain that these naked calls are costing, because I still have 250 naked calls there. And I rolled from 25 to 30 to bring in even more premiums, right? So it's been a hell of a day. If you look at the net transactions, it's negative $807,000. Why is that? It's because I bought $1 million worth of Enphase today. That's what's going on there. But if you look at the year to date, what did we do? We rang the cash register. Now you say $68,000 of realized gains on Enphase that wasn't there before. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to sell naked strangles, short strangles, you better be in a position to where you can make good on those shares and cover the position. Is what I talked about yesterday. Selling naked strangles has a very bad rap, because there's a lot of people that have blown up their accounts because they're not able to cover, and they get stubborn. Did I have to buy these shares? No. The answer is no. But I chose to buy the shares because I'm like, what if this thing goes on a heater to 100? I would love to play the stock from behind and keep rolling and rolling and rolling and getting $60 of capital appreciation on 25,000 shares. And on a slight pullback to like 39 or 38, I'm going to consider buying an additional 25,000 shares. And then I'm running my all-time favorite strategy, which is the covered strangle with a backstop trade. That is, my goodness. That is, the rich man's legit rich man covered call. Right? Like that is where I want to play. Now, wouldn't it have been great if I'd have bought these shares when Enphase was at like 20 something? I had done that. But I was like, well, I could just make more money selling, or more capital efficient selling the backstop trade. So the money that I made over here on these puts, that's the money that I realized. And then some of those gains were offset because I locked in a loss rolling from 40 to 45. So now we have all of this extrinsic value here, there, for the 36-day cycle. And if Enphase peters out, well, now I can rinse and repeat this. And if I want to be a little bit more responsible, maybe on the next round, I only do 250 calls to match up the shares that I own, right? So that's what's going on there, guys. That is what I did with Enphase, and this is why I did it. The gimme, it gives me peace of mind. And I can cheer for the stock now because I rolled from 25 to 30. So now I'm qualified for a lot more premiums on the long dated puts, right? My backstop trade. I got a little bit more room to the upside before, not just the covered calls, but because this is a half covered call, half naked call, right? Because there's 500 contracts, 250 of them are covered by the 25,000 shares. The other 250 are uncovered, right? So it's like half and half. I'm like, I can cheer against the stock. And then now rolling 250 calls over and over and over again, naked calls, at some point, Enphase is going to level out and I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to be okay. Or I could just cover the position. And call it good. And then I'm like, what if I got to 50,000 shares? What if I got rid of a couple of these other positions that I'm not as sure about? I'm very, very sure of this Enphase play. And what if I just covered it? What if I just covered it into 50 shares? And I'm like, interesting. What if I ride those shares up $20? That's $1 million. That's $1 million. Plus, I could probably make another $500,000 on covered calls during that time. Plus, I will have already made over $500,000 because I locked in the money on the 25 puts, right? I locked in some money there before I rolled it to 30. I'm like, I might have just stumbled on a $2 million play by the end of this calendar year on Enphase. If I'm able to ride 50,000 shares up $20, what if I'm able to ride them up 25? Because I'm going to really dig into this Saudi news. Maybe I stay in Enphase until it gets to 100. If I feel like it's got those types of legs, we'll see. I want to see how this directly impacts Enphase because I think this was a sector-wide thing. I want to see how it directly impacts Enphase. If I feel like there's something there, you can bet your ass that I'm going to buy an additional 25,000 shares, and I'm just going to run that cover call campaign. And I may even consider sizing up over here on the puts and get rid of some of the other shit. I'm like, I got a winning trade here. I'm very, very comfortable with it. I will get rid of the fat. And in fact, I will consider taking on losses to offset some of the gains. You know, I've got this loss right here that I could lock in on BM&R. This might be a good time to lock in a $456,000 loss. Helps out with taxes. And, you know, I don't have to see that damn losing position anymore. Just ideas, guys. We're just spitballing, right? We're just spitballing. But this is the portfolio recap for today. Everything else is exactly the way that it was earlier. Didn't do anything else since the time that we met this morning. And I had to leave abruptly because I forgot I had to take my dad to the doctor. So we're running this PayPal rich man's call, if you will, working out like an absolute charm. BMNU is still shit in the bed. I'm thankful that we got, you know what? I gotta put this trade on. Hold on. I need to sell another 500 contracts here. It sucks. I wanted to get more premium. I really did. But at the same time, I got to bring something through the door. So we'll see if we can get another $20,900 there after the fees. We'll see what happens. Let's see if it fills. SoFi, the 23 puts, golden, the 36 calls, golden at 69%. Maybe if those get to 80%, maybe I just take all that risk off the table after earnings. We'll see. Because I mean, you can only cover so many positions, right? So we'll see. These 22 puts, I feel great about them. I feel really good about that SoFi position. I'm loving this riot play. I'm just absolutely loving this riot play. Thank you, stock gods. Thank y'all. I feel like y'all don't like me. I like you guys. But thank you for giving me this play. Because I really thought that Riot was just going to get away from me after they released that deal with AMD. And here they are. I might be able to increase this to 500 puts, eventually 1,000. And one of my favorite menu stands is back. It's back. It's kind of like McDonald's. They do the McRib very so often, right? I've never had one, but I see the commercials. Like, it's back. It's avocado season in Subway. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. I am so excited about that. Enphase, we already talked about Enphase. Kind of hoping for a little bit of a pullback, low key. I hope it pulls back to like 38, 39, and then I can make good over there. NVIDIA, the 160 and 220, feel absolutely good about that trade. This Palantir strangle. I mean, what are we talking about here? Strategy. Be real cool. Be real cool if Bitcoin can catch a bid, because that's going to lift up strategy. Apple, spam risk. Gosh, I get so many spam calls. It's crazy. Apple, 220, 320. The delta, 25 versus 12. I've considered selling more calls. I've considered adding 200 more calls on Apple. On Google, 220 versus 500. It's pretty delta neutral, not doing anything there. Marathon, brand new position today. I can see this one getting to 500, and I can see Riot getting to 500. And those are going to be the miners that I rock with for now. I am really, really considering Clean Spark as well. I don't know where it's at today, but I love the Clean Spark play as well. And those are the three that I'm most familiar with, actually. I know Iron's a monster. I know Cypher's a monster. There's a lot of good Bitcoin mining plays that, especially that have the artificial intelligence, high performance compute narrative attached to them. But I like rocking with what I'm more familiar with, and I'm just getting to a point in my life where I'm just lazier, guys. Like I don't want to put in the work. I'd rather just rock with what I have, figure out how to make more money with these menu items, keep life simple, stay in my lane. I'm not that YouTube channel that needs to talk about the next shiny object to get views. I don't get a lot of views because I'm convinced that people watch YouTube finance for entertainment. They don't actually I'd be willing to bet that 50% of the viewers aren't even really trading the stock market. They just like being informed. The people that watch my channel are the people that are actively selling options and seeing how I'm trading this thing and trying to figure out how to make money. Like that, those are the people that I talk to. So yeah, man, I feel good. I feel absolutely good about everything. I am trying to clean this up because right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I am at my absolute max on positions. I do not like having more than 14. So, BMing you, ASST, all crypto related, right? BMNR, crypto related. Marathon, crypto related. MSTR, crypto related. Riot, crypto related. I'm gonna have to cut a couple of those positions at some point. At some point, I may have to cut a couple of those positions. I am happy that I added Amazon here. I am happy that I added Nvidia here, but there's no Tesla. There's no Tesla right now. I'm looking at the watch list here on the left-hand side, and really that's the only thing. Maybe I could rock with 15. But is it going to be Tesla? Is it going to be TSOL? I've had a lot more luck with TSOL, but I ain't doing anything at these levels. I want to listen to an earnings report. Not in a hurry. Not in a hurry. Anyway, that's what's going on with the portfolios in a nutshell. Let me spend a little bit of time here with any live Q&A that you guys may have. I see here that we have a new member. Appreciate you, JW the Elder. Welcome to Wheel Deal Nation. What's going on, Daryl? What's going on, Terrence? Looking Slim, TJ. Appreciate you guys. Rocky, appreciate you guys. Yo, trader status quo. Proud of your brother making a portfolio for your son. Says a lot of character. Thought of your Bible verse of the wisdom of God and shared it. Got assigned 22 of C3 AI. What are your thoughts on it? It'd probably be fine. It'll probably be fine. There's a lot of people that have made a lot of money with that particular ticker, so you'll probably be okay. Appreciate you taking time of your day to share and teach. Love that you focus on your menu and do what works. That's what makes money. That's what I do. Appreciate you guys. That's what I do, man. It's like I feel like the class is in session and I'm trying to make money. That's it. That's it. Nothing fancy. No special effects. I ain't CNBC. I ain't gonna give you all the macros. I ain't got time for all that shit. I ain't got time for all that shit. I'm showing y'all the journey on how I sell puts and calls for a living, roll when it makes dollars and cents, buy the timely leap. I want to reintroduce put credit spreads. I want to get out of my own head on call credit spreads. Not necessarily run the iron condor, right? Like do them at the same time, but expand the toolkit a little bit maybe even throw in like a synthetic lawn, things like that. Run I'm running the poor man covered call, maybe the rich man covered call, maybe the poor man covered call. So instead of like bringing on more tickers, I'd rather keep the same tickers and figure out different ways to make money with those tickers, if that makes sense. And then it's just like his earning season's coming up, and it gets exhausting. It gets exhausting. Like I don't want to have to watch so much YouTube and so much CNBC and Fox Business and all that. Like I'm trying to do less and make more. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Like I appreciate the people watching the channel, but occasionally I'll go and I'll watch other channels. And I was talking to my wife about it because she spent like half a day watching YouTube with me the other day. She was just like, what do you do? Like, how does it, what do you do? And so I took her through it. I took her through the channels that I watch and stuff. And right away she could see like 10 10 of the screen names, like they became very familiar to her. And she was like, How could they be like on every channel?" And I was like, maybe it's people that work from home, baby. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And she goes, I think it's like their Netflix. She was like, I think it's like their Netflix. Like they watch all these programs and stuff. And I was like, no, I just think there's just people that are always looking for like the next play, or they are in these plays. So they tend to watch content creators that cover those plays, because I used to do that a lot with SoFi, Palantir, watching the SoFi Weekly guys, Amit for Palantir. There's a couple other people that covered Palantir on a regular basis. And I feel like it really helps you with due diligence, really, really helps you with due diligence when you're formulating the investment thesis. So it helped me. I watch Rocket Labs Weekly about, I don't know, maybe 10 episodes or so, because I took on a position on Rocket Labs that absolutely crushed it for me. I'm out of it now. Um, but it helped me to formulate an investment thesis. So when I talked to her about it in that lens, she was like, "Oh, that kind of, that makes sense. That makes sense." And she was like, "Well, you don't think you'd get more views if you like did a bunch of deep dives on these companies?" And I'm like, "Well, the thing is I already know how to make money with the stock. So it's like I'm not gonna get like bonus premium for knowing more about the company." And, she's this Stanford economics major, but I saw in her eye that the light bulb went on, and she was like, "That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Like, why would you invest more time when your investment thesis is like, in other words, your mind's already made up. I invest my time like studying options chains and things like that, and figuring out where does Mr. Market, where are they trying to push this stock? I study the technicals. Like I just try to figure out how to make money with the stock. That's the thing. It's like I posted something on X earlier today. I'll leave y'all with this. I posted this on X earlier. And this is kind of like my outlook on the market. Like, this is my outlook on the market in a nutshell. I guess I should like the stream. But this is kind of like my outlook on the market. Rookie question: what's your bull case on so and so stock? My question is, how are you planning on making money off of so and so stock? You just buying and holding? You selling puts, synthetic longs, leaves, debit spreads, put credit spreads? What? How? Why? I focus on how to actually make money. That's kind of the game we are in. Didn't get a lot of traction. Didn't get a lot of traction, and that doesn't surprise me. But that's the thing. That's my thing. It's like when I look at a ticker, it's always, how can I make money with this ticker? Because that's the game that's the business that I'm in. That's what I do. That's what I do. I ain't trying to be CNBC. I'm trying to be Fox Business. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm too busy living life. I got a busy life. I got a busy life, and I'm trying to make it busier. I'm trying to incorporate like more hobbies and stuff. So anyway, man, I got to rock and roll. I appreciate. Awesome. 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 Exactly. Work from home and have finance YouTube on all day. Right on. Personally, I value your content is so deep on finance. Exactly. I come here from options strategy, real person talking now, trying to YouTube farm. Right on. So anyway, man, I got to get rocking and rolling. I'm trying to keep these portfolio recaps to like 30, 35 minutes max. That we all can get on with y'all's day. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. I appreciate you guys. TJ the Wheel Deal signing off. As always, Mayor Sky, stay blue, stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.